My name is Forrest A. Parker, Sr. I'm from Newport News, Virginia, and I'm just pleased to have this opportunity to share a little bit about the history of my life and where I'm at today. I grew up in a initially segregated system and up until the sixth grade. So from the first kindergarten to the fifth grade, I was in an all-black school. Actually, there were two white individuals in the entire school. One was my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Cole, and the other person was a speech pathologist, and his name was Ralph Newen. Now, one thing I want to share with you that's quite interesting. I grew up with a locked tongue, which means that I had extreme challenges of pronunciating words. The speech pathologist used to come to school on a weekly basis and work with me, and I couldn't say words like school, spider, words like that, which are very simple, but I just could not pronounce them. In other words, a locked tongue is when underneath the tongue there's a ligament that holds your tongue down and it's overly extended. So my tongue really can't lead beyond my lips, which limits a lot of words that you can use. Interesting enough, today, my livelihood is based on talking. And so it's amazing that I was able to overcome some of those challenges early on. So God had a plan for me. I left home and I ended up going to Firm College. And then from Firm College, I went and got my master's degree from James Madison University. Something very important that you need to understand about my background. I grew up in a place called Marshall Courts in Newport News, Virginia. It was the projects. In other words, socioeconomically, I was considered poor. But I never felt like I was poor because I never missed a meal. My mom always provided for my younger brother and I. But the boys' club was my place of destiny early on in life. In other words, almost every day when I was to get home from school, I would ride my bike 26 blocks up the road and go to the boys' club. And that's where I found fun. That's where I found people who cared about me and served as mentors. Actually, in the mid-1970s, I became Board of the Year for the city of Newport News through the Boys Club. It changed my life. Right away, individuals at school, the principal met me at the bus because my picture was on the front page of the Daily Press newspaper. So upon arriving at school that day, the principal was waiting for me, and I said, "Oh Lord, what did I do now?" He took me into his office, he showed me the article that was written, and the council wanted me to come to his office. They changed my schedule. They took me out of underwater basket weaving and all these classes that meant nothing and started putting me in a foreign language. They put me in Algebra 2. They put me in a science class. They changed my schedule. It was almost mid-semester because all of a sudden the perception of me as a productive, civic-minded adult one day was made. And that was worked through the Boys Club of America. It wasn't Boys and Girls Club. It was the Boys Club of America. So the Boys Club saved my life because most of my friends who did not participate in the Boys Club, they were home smoking weed, sniffing glue, stealing, robbing people. It was just very tragic. And today when I look back, many of those individuals are dead, incarcerated, all messed up on drugs. So thank God for the Boys Club of America. Now, today in 2020, I'm the CEO, founder of the Boys and Girls Club of the Rappahannock Region. Who knows what might happen to you? Now, I wish I made a lot of money with the Boys and Girls Club, but I'm blessed with gratification on a daily basis. Working with 100 plus kids on a daily basis is just amazing how you see kids grow up. I just met a kid the other day, not met him, but was reintroduced to a kid at Chick-fil-A day before yesterday. He came up to me, "Mr. Parker, I used to participate in the Boys and Girls Club." I looked at him, he's a grown man. He's an engineer. He went to Virginia Tech, and he told me, he said, "Mr. Parker, you always were on my case, pushing me. And that's what it's all about, is raising level expectations for young people. So as part of Black History Month, I would encourage individuals to seek things that they love. I'm an entrepreneur, I have my own company. My company is the one that founded the Boys and Girls Club of the Rappahannock Region. Understand this, sometimes it's what you enjoy, what you can benefit from. You might not make all the money in the world, but work doing something that you're happy about, that you can get up in the morning, that you're pleased with the outcomes, that you're touching other people's life, because God will provide. I have been blessed. Nice home, I've had nice vehicles, I've traveled. Just got back from South Africa 2 weeks, and that blessing came about because I helped some individuals who then recommended me for a partial scholarship to go to South Africa. That would never happen if I wasn't giving back and working with Boys and Girls Club and young people. So as an entrepreneur, at one time I had 4 different stores. I had a couple of dollar stores, I had a flea market, an antique location. And that was fun, but my home is Boys and Girls Club. I'm able to do things I enjoy. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, understand this, nobody is going to care about your business more than you. You can't let the naysayers destroy your dream and your aspiration in life. You got to continue to plug. You got to be strategic. But most people will talk you out of doing something that you really want to do. You also have to be able to work on an ongoing basis because you got to track and follow your dreams. You can't rely on anybody else, not family members, or neighbors, friends. You have to be on top of your game. You got to understand there's some risk involved with being an entrepreneur. And that's okay. That's what it's all about. You never know that if you're going to be successful or not unless you give it a try. I've seen nobody be successful in life unless they took a risk in terms of trying to make things happen. But you also got to be mindful is that you got to work hard. You got to be committed 110%. You got to look at the bottom line. You got to look at a budget. You got to look at how much can you afford to be an entrepreneur per hour, how much money you are securing per hour in terms of paying the bills. Because you got to pay the bills. You can't give everything away as a gift. You also have to be mindful, surround yourself with positive, quality, competent people. One of the worst things you can do is be an entrepreneur, hire your friends who really don't care, who really are not competent to get the job done, and they bring you down with them. It's like crabs in a basket, pulling you down. The higher you get, the more people are going to drag and pull you down. Sometimes you have to understand the whole notion about information is power. That doesn't mean that you got to have diarrhea of the mouth and tell every little thing you're doing, but information is power. In other words, some information you keep to yourself, some information you want to share. Don't be scared to share, because if you're really good at what you do, nobody can do it like you. You got to be mindful of the fact that dreams are built on opportunities, and opportunities are meant for people who are prepared. You got to put something away for a rainy day. You got to anticipate the things that might go wrong, the things that might be successful. But dream, be successful. Have a vested interest in liking people and people liking you. It's called networking and being resourceful. If people like you, you'll be amazed by the opportunities that might await itself. When you're at a restaurant or whatever, I'm always having conversations with people, finding out what they do, because we always can use a plumber. We always can use an electrician. We always can use our accountant. We always can have people know other people which can help drive your business if you decide to do that. So Carter Woodson, Omega Man, started Negro History Week back in the 1940s. And then it became Black History Month to recognize all the many contributions that African Americans, Black, have made to this great world. Not just America, the world. My opportunity I had in South Africa 2 weeks ago was outstanding. I learned so much about the power of a name. See, in Africa, almost everybody's name is tied into something of Mother Nature. I went to one of the villages, and the head man of that village, his name was Nigel, which means baboons. So he protected baboons. He had never hurt a baboon. He married a woman that was a weapon. Her family tie was a weapon. You could never marry within your own totem, and it's called totem. You always had to marry outside that, but you protected part of Mother Nature. Understand this. Our names being taken away from us was a powerful piece of disconnecting our family and our linkage to Mother Nature. So I encourage you to continue to search for your roots, because you can find out your name. You can find a lot about history and the way you connect to the world and what's happening in the world. So part of when you think about Black History Month, February, it's not just Black History Month, it's world history. Every day is Black history. It's just an emphasis in February established by Carter G. Woodson. But you have to understand that we as a community, we as a people, we are only as strong as our weakest link. So it's a whole old African proverb that it takes a whole village to raise a child. I agree with that, but the village must be well. We have to understand family, friends, and what comes in between us. And a lot of times is resources and money. So understand that as a platform. Don't let people divide and conquer your family, your friends. Keep things in perspective. Don't be afraid to share, but also be strategic about how you share. Surround yourself with positive, great people, because if you have great people surrounding you, you're destined for greatness. So this is something I commend Ms. Gillespie for putting on this program. It's a pleasure to be a part of the Black History program that's being promoted. Understand this is just one program of many programs that's being offered by her station. She's an ultramillionaire. She's out there hustling, keeping things real, traveling, meeting people like myself and others, sharing the knowledge and wisdom, because a mind, once you have it in your head, nobody can take that away from you. Don't get caught up in materialistic things, because that can be taken from you any day. But what you have up here sticks with you for a lifetime. There was one story that I like to tell you in closing. It was a gentleman out fishing, and he was doing well. I mean, he was filling up those pails of fish, and people were just looking at amazement. He was a gentleman that came by, and he was quite hungry. He had fell on hard times, and he walked over to the guy and said, "Man, can I have some fish?" The guy looked at him and said, "Hold on a second." He went on to his car, he opened his trunk, he grabbed another fishing pole, and he looked at him and said, "Look, this is what I want to tell you, sir. If I give you some fish, you eat today. But if I teach you how to fish, you eat for a lifetime." So thank you for this opportunity. My name is Forrest A. Parker, Executive CEO for the Boys and Girls Club of Rappahannock Region, President of Multi-Ethnic Perspective, President of FAP Consultants and Associates. And I give this message to you as information is power. Thank you very much.